place and they have something to eat.
And Carol, I would imagine, is it the elderly, the disabled, those are sort of the worst in need?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of people that are retirees in this community, and of course they probably didn't plan on spending their retirement years this way. So we're making sure that we have help for them in form of Red Cross health services as well.
All right, both of you, thank you very much, and we congratulate you on the hard work you're doing. And again, the latest estimate, we're hearing 86,000 people in the state of Florida remain in shelters, several million people without power tonight. So a lot of people in need across that state, and the storm is not over yet. Stay with us, everybody, because we've got special coverage of Hurricane Frances. It is continuing into the next hour with the Fox Report with my pal Shepard Smith. That begins in just a minute or so from now. Then coverage continues at 8 p.m. with Kieran Chetri, and I'll be back at 9 p.m. I'll be back to the helm for another special on the after effects of Hurricane Frances and where she is headed now, what's next in line. And then my pal Geraldo Rivera and Uma Bambaraju will be back at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Wall-to-wall hurricane coverage. Stay with Fox.
On top from Fox, ferocious Frances. She is a massive storm plodding slowly across the state of Florida, weakening at times, but still packing a dangerous punch. After hours of whipping winds, people emerging from their homes to see the damage that Frances left behind, as Fox reports live. The slow-moving giant creeping across Florida, drenching the state with inches of rain, whipping it with powerful winds. Millions of people left in the dark at the height of the storm. Frances knocking down trees, ripping off roofs, turning the golden arches into twisted metal. The ground opening up under people's feet and a horse running for cover. Plus, a Fox News crew helping a stranded driver. We have live Team Fox coverage of the damage in Florida, how long Frances will hang around, and where the powerful storm is heading next, as Fox reports tonight.
Covering the globe, fair and balanced. News at the speed of live. From New York, this is the Fox Report.
A day-long deluge in Florida. Hurricane Frances pounding the state for hours on end, relentless before being downgraded to a tropical storm about 2 hours ago. That storm made landfall as a Category 1 hurricane around 1 a.m. The official point of entry, Sewell's Point. That's just east of Stuart, Florida. The system so slow, so massive, virtually every part of that state is effective. Wind damage is evident up and down the eastern coast of Florida. More than 5 million people lost power, driving dangerous. One man was killed near Gainesville when his car hit by a tree. Several others also hurt in car accidents, flooding, a huge problem. Some areas have seen more than a foot of rain at this hour, and all that water is adding up.
When you combine the rain with sustained winds of hurricane force winds over an extended period of time, we may end up seeing as much damage as occurred with Charlie, plus it will be over a larger area.
Frances is still a large and powerful system, and she's still on the move. Live Team Fox coverage on Hurricane Frances. Rick Reichmuth is in the Fox Weather Center. But first, Rick Leventhal with a Fox Report live from Stuart, Florida. Rick.
Well, Paige, here in Stuart, residents are starting to come home and assess the damages of Hurricane Frances, checking their yards and their homes. Many of these folks still in the dark. As you mentioned, more than 5 million people lost power at some point during the storm, including most of the 1.2 million residents of Palm Beach County. Crews now working to try and get the juice back on. And getting around is not easy. Most of the traffic lights that we saw are still out, and many of the roads are simply impassable, including a section of A1A in Port St. Lucie. A huge chunk of the road there just simply washed away. No word on when that might be repaired. And some roads that were open until police realized how bad they were, and then they were shut down, like the causeway between Stuart and Jensen Beach, where we saw waves crashing over the wall and a boat smashed up on the rocks and the guardrail there. One of our crews found a big sailboat, a 30-footer, caught underneath another causeway near Vero Beach. The mast smashed and bent over the bridge railing. No word if anyone was on this boat when it crashed. Now, most of the structural damage we saw was limited to signs blown down into roofs, gas station overhangs ripped off, a lot of roof damage as well, siding and other material, metal pieces whipped to the ground. Some areas have already gotten 13 inches of rain or more, flooding streets and motel parking lots. Truly amazing that cars can drive through this stuff when the water's up halfway up the doors there. We also saw many waterfront homes and businesses that were flooded by the high waters that were crashing ashore. Some residents even using kayaks and other boats to survey the damages on the streets of their neighborhood. But perhaps the scariest road hazard we saw was on I-95 northbound near Jupiter. A section of the right lane completely washed away with no markers or barricades to warn drivers. This was at about 7:30, 8 o'clock this morning. There was a big drop there, as you could see, in the roadway to a water-filled ditch below. We did call the police to notify them about this. Eventually, they put up barricades, and at one point, we're told they actually closed a section of I-95 either because of the damage there or because of flooding on the highway. So far, there have been 2 deaths attributed to the storm in the Bahamas and 1 death attributed to the storm here in the U.S. And, of course, Paige, officials hoping that number does not go up. Back to you.
As we all do. Rick Leventhal, thank you so much. And Frances may be weakening as she moves across land, but she's no lady. She's far from finished. The storm is expected to pass over the Gulf of Mexico late tonight or tomorrow morning. Now, that puts her in position for a second landfall in the Florida Panhandle. Rick Reichmuth with a Fox report live from the Fox Weather Center. Rick, what can you tell us?
Hey, Paige, yeah, you called it. That is the forecast motion right now. Right now, just the eye of it beginning, or the center of it, probably better called, because the eye is kind of really falling apart. But the center of this just about to move offshore. Take a look, though, here. You can see widespread rain throughout most of the state. Southern half of the state, that's probably going to begin to die down pretty quickly here. But off towards the north, you see some more severe bands here. This is going to be causing the potential for tornadoes. In fact, today we've had reports already. 3 tornadoes in northeastern Florida, 1 in towards south central Georgia. You see heavy rain showers here around Albany, heading down towards around Panama City. We actually have a tornado warning right now, reports of a tornado in Putnam County that's just east of Jacksonville. This is what we're going to be seeing the danger of throughout the evening tonight. So you need to know, especially in the northern side of this storm, tornado watch is in effect until 9 p.m. at this point. I expect to see that extended again. But the thing you need to know, make sure you can get into a basement or certainly the lowest level of your house and into an interior room, say a hall or a bathroom, something without windows, and in towards the inside of your home. That's what you're going to need to do if you see those tornado warnings popping up. But the south side of this also, we're going to continue to be seeing some rain showers. Some of those are going to be a little bit heavier as well as the day moves, as the evening moves on. And take a look here. This is that tornado watch box I was talking about, just about north of Lake Okeechobee, heading in towards southern portions of Georgia. And throughout the evening, expect to see this storm continue its progression out in towards the open Gulf waters. And that's where it has the possibility of strengthening a bit again. Paige.
Rick Reichmuth, thank you so much, and great advice. The Texas-sized storm is leaving behind a huge path of damage and destruction in Melbourne. There are plenty of downed trees, flattened fences, roofs ripped right off their homes. Adam Housley continuing our live Fox Report team coverage in Melbourne. Adam.
Yeah, Paige, you know, we've had the rain finally stop here for the first time in a number of hours. We were drenched to the point where the streets were flooded all around us, and the wind continues to blow even with or without the rain. To my right here, as you look through all these bushes, which are actually trees on their side, which look like bushes now that they've been blown over, you'll see some of the police officers here alongside the street. They've had a chance to get out of their car for the first time. They've really been hunkered down inside for more than 24 hours because the weather's been so bad here. We also have a view from above. One of our cameras up above here looking out towards the inland water area, out towards the island and the causeway. Highway 1, Highway 192 is the one you're seeing that goes out there traveling eastbound. You'll notice the treacherous conditions continue on the inland waterways here in Florida. The wind whipping up those waves. Boats have been slammed into rocks. Some of the homes that are in the low portions of that area have been overrun by water in their first stories. And also you've got other boats that we've been told that have been submerged from the water. So still some very difficult conditions down here, some dangerous conditions. People are still being warned to stay inside. Also, authorities are telling us more than 12 people have been arrested for looting. They have a zero tolerance policy on that. You will go to jail. There will be no bail until at least Wednesday. And they're also warning people, don't even try to price gouge because you'll be dealt with severely there as well. One final note, Page 2. We've been told that the water systems in our area are now all down. If you are getting water water in your home or in your business, boil it for any use, and electricity also remains out as well. Paige.
Okay, Adam Housley, thank you. And as we've been telling you, as Hurricane Francis moved in, so did the looters. Police have arrested at least 11 people across Florida. 2 men were caught trying to break into a church. 2 guys busted using a chainsaw to try and steal an ATM. Others were found prowling near damaged homes and businesses. Cops in the Orlando area say a group of thieves managed to break into a clothing store and run off with $10,000 worth of merchandise. A woman taking shelter in a hotel when Francis first hit, well, she made good use of her time. She became a mother. She gave birth last night at the Suburban Lodge in Stuart. Well, the hotel did call the paramedics, but by the time they arrived, a midwife, who also fortunately happened to be staying there, delivered the baby. And we are told everything went well. The little girl is healthy, and her name is Miranda Frances Bennett. Another hurricane churning in the Atlantic, and it could also be headed for South Florida. Ivan officially reached hurricane strength today and quickly intensified to a Category 3 storm with winds of 115 miles per hour. Now, that storm moving much quicker than Francis at 21 miles an hour. The National Hurricane Center predicts Ivan will be around Puerto Rico on Wednesday, and from there, it's expected to continue northwest toward Florida. But it's early, and as we've seen with other hurricanes, they can be tough to track. They could use a little rain in California. A wildfire in the wine country burning out of control and causing widespread damage. And conflicting reports about one of Saddam Hussein's top aides. A top Iraqi says he's been caught. Another one says he's not. Vox reports from Baghdad. And much more from the path of Hurricane Francis. Most of the Florida peninsula absolutely drenched. The Panhandle now waiting for its turn under the Super Soaker. From the Fox News Hub in New York and Fox News teams all over the globe, this is news at the speed of live. You're on the Fox Report from the Fox News Channel.
The captioning for this program is brought to you by...
Cholesterol concerns us, so we take Garlic every day.
Garlic's been shown to help maintain normal cholesterol, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. Garlic, cholesterol's natural enemy.
Because we own the land, the trees, and the company, Florida's Natural is made just from our fresh oranges, not from concentrate. It's as close to the Grove as you can get.
This is Jim's dream vacation. The trouble is...
Give me all of them.
This isn't Jim. It's Maurice who stole Jim's debit card, spending his money, presenting the American Express Travel Funds card. The safety of travelers checks in a convenient card. It's prepaid and not linked to your bank account. If it's stolen, your balance is replaced fast. Plus, it works at ATMs. It's your vacation.
How much for the boat?
Why lose it? The Travel Funds card from American Express. Get a Travel Funds card and get a free companion airfare.
For a limited time, get our best deal ever. 1,000 nationwide anytime minutes for just $39.99. Plus rollover, only from Singular. You can look around all you want. You won't find a better deal anywhere. But this deal won't be around forever, so don't look too long. And now get this new Motorola camera phone for just $49.99. But hurry, this offer ends soon. 1,000 nationwide anytime minutes with rollover. Another reason Singular fits you best.
Natural gas is one of the world's cleanest fuels, but the largest supplies can be thousands of miles away. The answer is to cool it until it shrinks and turns into a liquid, so it can be shipped. And thanks to new advances in technology, this can now be done on a massive scale. So wherever people need natural gas, we can now deliver it.
That we've seen out here is this. This is the River House restaurant right on the Intercoastal here. The roof peeled off, the siding taken off as well. No match for these winds, and here they come again. Very strong. Strong winds, strong rains. This is much of what we've been seeing out here throughout the day.
The monster, once known as Hurricane Francis, downgraded to a tropical storm, but She's still very dangerous, dumping inches and inches of rain across the state. She's headed west. The eye came ashore at Sewell's Point, that's near Stuart, where this school was among the many buildings hit. Geraldo Rivera with Fox Report live from Stuart. Geraldo.
Hey, Paige, I just lost you in the AFB, but this is Stuart. This is the eye of the storm. It came right over our heads. This is the typical of the kinds of damage that Stuart left behind, especially for the homes on the water. This is the St. Lucie River that divides Port St. Lucie from the town of Stuart. There's not a dock left. If you pan right, you see there's not a dock left. If Hurricane Charlie can be considered the murderer, Hurricane Francis is the mugger. We don't hear anything about fatalities, thank God, in this country at least, although 2 did die in the Bahamas. But basically, Francis, maybe that energy dissipated by the gigantic breath of that storm, was mainly a water event, flooding everywhere. This morning we got out there, and as these rains persist, street after street, underwater a foot, sometimes 2 feet deep, as we rode through. Not so much structural damage as Charlie caused, not that catastrophic sharp damage, rather landscape damage, traffic lights torn from their wires, electric cables down, some of them live and sparkling. It's a sad story, widespread damage, though not as deadly, not as severe as was inflicted by Hurricane Charlie. Still in the hundreds of millions, easily, maybe even the billions of dollars, Paige. Earlier today, I spoke with the resident of this house. Ginny Randolph has been here. She was actually born here, and her house now is a mess. Here's Ginny. I'm with Jenny Randolph, who was born and raised here in Stuart, Florida. This is a mess. What was this?
Geraldo, this is what's left over of the Tidewater, a 48-foot pacemaker, and a 2-story houseboat that was on our property.
So this is 2 vessels absolutely shattered, destroyed.
Yes, sir. And also there's another vessel, I don't know who she belongs to, and another houseboat that came on our property during the morning.
I noticed the hospital off in the distance there. What's with the roof?
I don't know what was up there, but that's been completely destroyed, and as along with the hospital helipad.
What did they do with the patients?
There were 30 or 40 helicopters that came in Thursday and Friday that evacuated most of the people out of the hospital.
So as far as you know, the hurricane didn't kill anyone here?
No one was killed here.
Thank God for that, at least.
Thank God.
So you're going to stay? You're going to rebuild?
We're going to stay. We're going to rebuild.
Good luck.
Thank you.
That was the Tidewater out there, a 48-foot sport fisher boat, a beautiful, absolutely beautiful boat, Paige. Now, like so many vessels, recreational vessels up and down this coast, a wreck. But these people promise to rebuild, as do the other doughty, dauntless citizens of Florida. Back to you, Paige.
Okay, Geraldo, thanks so much. Coming to us from Stuart. The huge storm affecting virtually the entire state, of course, including southwest Florida, where Hurricane Charlie slammed ashore, leaving his mark. Well, here with more, live on the phone from Punta Gorda, Jonathan Seri. Jonathan, what can you tell us?
Hi, Paige. Well, it is eerie. You drive into Punta Gorda and you see all of the destruction. This destruction, of course, was from when Hurricane Charlie blew through this area 3 weeks ago. But you see the overcast skies, the torrential downpours, the winds kicking up, and it is eerily reminiscent today of what happened here 3 weeks ago. I talked to a resident who was walking along the side of the road. He was already drenched by the downpour that had come down upon his community. He said he was concerned, not because of the winds that are currently blowing through his community. Ordinarily, a healthy community wouldn't suffer any damage at all by the 30 to 40 mile an hour gusts that we're experiencing right now. But his concern is that so many homeowners have tarps covering where their roofs used to be, tarps covering windows, and there's so much water and wind, the wind's blowing off the tarps from many homes, and then the rain's coming in, making the damage that was created here by Charlie 3 weeks ago even worse. Paige, back to you.
Now, Jonathan, they're just getting the very first front of Francis. So what are people doing there on the western part of Florida, the West Coast? What are they doing to really prepare?
Well, they certainly are preparing. In fact, we had a hard time getting gasoline. We stopped at a fuel station just outside of Naples on our way here, and all of the pumps were bone dry. We weren't able to get any gas whatsoever. And what you see is sort of a combination of people preparing for Hurricane Francis, but at the same time, people having to drive far out of Punta Gorda in the wake of Charlie to get gas. So you have these opposing forces using up all of the gas. Gas is always in a short commodity in Punta Gorda because so many of the gas stations were taken out. But now with Hurricane Francis, now Tropical Storm Francis fast approaching, and people trying to prepare, even more gas is gone.
And Jonathan, when are people there expecting to see the worst of Francis?
They're expecting to see the worst of Francis probably within the next couple hours. Of course, it varies according to what part of the West Coast you're on. The closer you go to where the center of the storm is going to hit, believed to be north of Tampa, the earlier it will be. But it totally depends on what these feeder bands are going to do, which is what I'm in right now in Punta Gorda. They're so disheveled and so spread out. It's very unpredictable. The best thing you can do is look at the radar and you know when it's coming. But there's really not a lot of organization as the storm system has been breaking up over land.
Jonathan Serry, thank you. Stay safe. Reporting to us from the west coast of Florida in Punta Gorda. Big Francis leaving behind a big path of destruction. Well, now she's getting ready to hit the western part of Florida. We're live with Team Fox coverage from the hardest hit areas straight ahead. And she's taking her time moving across Florida, tortuously slow, dumping plenty of rain along the way, but there's a good chance Francis will regain her hurricane strength. Keeping track of this storm as Fox reports live.
At Infinity's limited engagement sales event, the car of your dreams is waiting. Like the Infiniti G35 sedan, one of Car and Driver's 10 best for the second year in a row. See your Infiniti dealer for attractive lease and APR finance rates. But don't wait too long. Infinity's limited engagement sales event ends September 7th. Test drive a G35 sedan or FX and ask about our 1.9% APR.
Precision driving teach us about corporate and investment banking. The right combination of horsepower and agility can produce remarkable results. Wachovia Securities, corporate and investment banking. Talk to us.
Jim Gibson. He looks healthy on the outside, but on the inside, something serious is going on that he isn't even aware of. Jim has poor circulation in his legs that could be a condition known as peripheral artery disease, or PAD. It's serious because poor circulation in the legs can mean poor circulation in the heart and brain as well, putting him at a 6 times higher risk of heart attack or stroke. Learn how to reduce this risk. Call today and get the inside story on PAD, diagnosis, and treatment options. If you're over 50 and you have risks for heart disease or pain or heaviness in the legs, you may have PAD. Call now for your free information kit. Call 1-888-234-0072. Don't wait. Get the inside story on PAD. Call 1-888-234-0072 for your free kit today.
I'm feeling like Mr. Lucky today. Things seem to be going my way.
Shop anytime, right from home. HSN. See the possibilities.
Comcast is once again proud to bring you great high school football action with the Chevrolet Friday Night High School Game of the Week. Tune in to CSS, Comcast Channel 27 each Friday to see all the exciting gridiron action. Tune in September 10th to see Dixon County take on Hendersonville. The Chevrolet Friday Night High School Game of the Week is brought to you in part by Fox Sports, Hometown Teams, Fox Attitude, and VHX.com.
The outer bands of Hurricane Francis left quite a mark on Palm Beach County, the area getting soaked with about a foot of rain. The winds also made a mess, damaging dozens of homes, knocking down street lights and power lines.
And we were in the hotel right over there at about 1 o'clock this morning, and all night long, that wind and rain pelted against the hotel. You see some people wandering out and then wandering back in right now as another band comes through here. We were in that hotel. We wandered out ourselves around, say, 9, 10 o'clock this morning. We were apparently in the eye of the storm. We went out and got some video. Then we came back and another band started.
That was an early report from our Fox affiliate WTVT in Tampa, Florida. Francis may have weakened. It's officially a tropical storm now, but there's a chance she could regain her hurricane strength. Rick Reichmuth with the Fox report live from the Fox Weather Center. Rick, what do you have your eyes on now?
Hey, Paige. Well, a couple things. First of all, we are definitely looking at the West Coast now. You're going to continue to see the rains here as well. East Coast, you're certainly not out of the clear. Look at all of this moisture still behind. And this is just what the radar is picking up on. There's certainly a little bit more storm even behind you there. But head off towards the West Coast. This is where throughout the evening we're going to be looking at the potential of some tornadoes. Already reports of tornadoes in throughout northeastern portions of Florida, south central Georgia as well. You see this one band right there as that moves off in towards the Panhandle. That's the first of the heavy rain we're seeing. There's certainly not the last, though, as the center of this storm moves offshore. And as it does, we look at a couple of things still here. A threat of a little bit of a storm surge actually on the west side as well, maybe just a few feet, and that comes along with high tide. That's going to cause certainly some flooding, definitely some winds, probably gusts up around the 17 miles per hour or 70 mile per hour wind gusts. Probably not sustained winds at that range that much there. Still on the west side, you're looking at about another 18 hours of rain for you there. So the rain totals are certainly going to pile up, and we're going to watch this very closely. Now, that right there is Francis. I want to quickly talk to you about another storm. This is Ivan, and believe it or not, we've got winds sustained right now around 125 miles per hour on this storm. Still very far out to sea, but take a look at what we can see for the projected track currently. This thing right now winds around 125 miles per hour, strengthening, you see, by the time, say, Monday rolls around tomorrow. 140 miles per hour by Tuesday, 145 miles per hour sustained winds. This means we're talking Category 4 storm again. And take a look at this. By the time Thursday rolls around, the island of Hispaniola, you are going to be under the gun, certainly in this cone here of possibility. Any way you look at it, probably going to be seeing some of the threats of this. Puerto Rico also, maybe in towards eastern portions of Cuba. And then look at this, just past this, the 5-day projection brings that right out there in towards the central Bahamas, unfortunately, and that's, say, by your Friday. And then past that, according to this projection, a little too early to tell. Don't certainly want to cause any alarm for you yet in Florida, but we're going to watch this closely. The next 2 days will give us a much clearer idea. Paige.
Okay, it sounds like you're going to have a busy week. Rick Reichmuth, thank you so much. And now from our newsrooms coast to coast, Fox reports across America. California, a wind-driven wildfire charring almost 9,300 acres of brush and timber in Sonoma County's wine country. Firefighters say it's just 10% contained. Choppers scooping up water from nearby lakes to drop on the flames. Another wildfire destroying more than a dozen homes in Calaveras County. Kansas, 2 children killed in Wichita after the parked car they were in started rolling. Police say the 2-year-old and 4-year-old were left in the car, which was running at the time. It somehow slipped into gear and rolled down the driveway into the street. The kids fell out of the car and were run over. No charges have been filed in that case. Illinois, thousands of Muslims from around the world attending the annual Islamic Convention in Chicago. Leaders say they hope the event will encourage people to vote and help preserve Muslim civil rights during the war on terror. Oregon, thousands of people celebrating the movie Animal House in the town of Cottage Grove. That was the home of the fictional Faber College in the 1978 comedy. They recreated the parade scene from the movie, complete with smoke bombs and even a food fight. The town also hosted a toga party, and that's a Fox Watch across America. Former President Bill Clinton could undergo heart surgery as early as tomorrow. He's getting advice from a man who knows his pain. President Bush has taken plenty of criticism from John Kerry about the economy. Now the commander-in-chief is responding, attacking his challenger's tax plan. Hurricane Frances has been downgraded to a tropical storm, but she's still causing plenty of flooding and spawning more wicked weather, as Fox reports live.
Announcing new Fancy Feast Marinated. Tender morsels of real turkey or tuna, lavishly marinated to captivate the palate of the true gourmet. Fancy Feast. Good taste is easy to recognize.
Oh, I love you.
Don't forget to call, son.
Yep, I got you right in here, Dad.
Sign up for the Family Share Plan, and now the whole family can make unlimited in-calls to each other and any other Verizon Wireless customer anytime without using any planned minutes from our national in-coverage area. Plus, buy one LG 3200 for $29.99 and get one free.
Oh, I need to call her back.
Are you all in? Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you.
You do something to me, something that simply mystifies me. Let me live neath your spell. You do that voodoo that you do so well.
At the heart of the most extraordinary places, you'll find the most extraordinary hotels. Renaissance Hotels and Resorts.
See this pill? I helped invent it. It helps keep people alive, and that's why I do this after all. We had just started working on this when my father's heart problem started. It usually takes about 15 years to get a new drug ready. This one took almost 20. When it takes that long, two things keep you inspired. The millions you're going to help, and the one you couldn't.
GlaxoSmithKline. Today's medicines finance tomorrow's miracles.
Powerful winds and torrential rain, Hurricane Frances slams the Florida coast, leaving a trail of devastation and destruction in its path. For the latest, stay with Fox News Channel for updates and reports as events unfold from this hard-hit region.
From America's leading news network, this is the Fox Report. It's the bottom of the hour, time for the top of the news. What was Hurricane Frances is now a tropical storm. The center of the system just east of Tampa. Forecasters say it could regain hurricane strength as it heads over the Gulf of Mexico and toward the Florida Panhandle. Frances made landfall as a Category 1 hurricane around 1 a.m. just east of Stuart. The system so slow and so massive, virtually every part of the state experienced some of its winds and rains. Many structures have significant wind damage. Roofs were torn off homes and businesses. Trees, power lines, and traffic signals came crashing down. One driver killed when a tree hit his car. Another driver had to be rescued by our own Fox crew. Rick Leventhal with the Fox Report live from Stuart, Florida. Rick.
Paige, we left Fort Lauderdale at about 6 o'clock this morning and began heading north on I-95 to the Stuart area here to assess the damages of Hurricane Frances. We had just passed a sinkhole on the highway near Jupiter when Don Colopy, our satellite truck engineer, looked to the right and noticed a car off the side of the road in a wooded, waterlogged ditch. So he immediately pulled over, and many of us jumped out of the vehicles and then ran over to where this car was parked. It took a while to get close to the vehicle because it was surrounded by these thick trees and branches and sitting in a couple of feet of water, as I mentioned. We were breaking the branches to get closer to the car, and then we noticed that someone was still inside the car. It took a while to get his attention because he'd apparently passed out, but eventually, once we determined that the guy wasn't injured, the group was able to get the door open and get this guy out. And out steps Paul Bulko with a lit cigarette in his mouth. He was cool and calm, told us he'd been in the car for 5 hours after losing control of the vehicle in the worst part of the storm at about 3 a.m. and driving right off the road. Paul Bulko, what happened? You were driving in the storm.
We were trying to get some supplies and, cigarettes, batteries, and
Last thing I remember was veering off into the ditch. I didn't realize I was that far in because visibility was horrible. This must have been right when the eye had originally touched down, and it was just horrible. I couldn't get loose in the car, and I remember trying to use my cell phone, and I just couldn't get a signal. But if anybody's out there, if I'm all right. But these guys from Fox News are great.
Well, we put Paul in one of our vehicles and we waited about 20 minutes. A police officer was driving by. We flagged him down. He came over. We told him what was going on. He immediately reprimanded Paul for trying to drive through a hurricane. That's when we loaded up in our cars and took off. Paul told me that this was his first hurricane, and Paige, he hopes it's his last.
I'm sure. Great story, Rick Leventhal. Thank you. Tropical Storm Francis winds have weakened a bit to about 70 miles an hour, but the storm has picked up speed. It's moving across Florida at 10 miles an hour. Now, check out what she left behind in Vero Beach. These boats couldn't weather the storm. Instead, they took on water. Geraldo Rivera with the Fox Report now live from Stuart. Geraldo.
Hi, Paige. This is where the eye of the storm passed over, as you know. And that eye, remember, after enduring the violent winds of the front half of the hurricane, then comes that unnatural calm. What must that be like? Here are some of the residents who endured it last night. Sandy, Monty, and Denise. What was that eye of the storm like?
It was actually very peaceful. We are all neighbors downtown, and we opened up our apartments to each other and shared our food, and had quite a spirit of community, and we weathered it together.
But you knew the violent back half of that storm was coming, Monty.
Yeah, it was just eerie. It was a very unnatural type of calm. And having the front hit us, and then the other one coming, we knew that another one was coming, so let's get in, hunker down.
To me, that back half of the storm, Denise is an artist here locally. There's a nice artistic community here in Stuart. Many of the residents damaged, but not severely. I saw theirs, and there are piles of driftwood and piers everywhere. But what was the worst of it for you?
About 5 o'clock this morning, it got really, really windy, and our concerns were basically that all the neighbors were okay, because basically we all went to bed, and we were really concerned to hear about Ginny and Jerry. They wanted to stay here. They had people staying with them here, so mainly our concerns were our neighbors. Everybody held together so well. We ate together. We communicated very well. We played music. We had actually an enjoyable time during a bad time, but knowing this is the results afterwards, there's not much we could do.
When you see this kind of devastation, Monty, do you feel positive about rebuilding, or do you feel, my goodness, what's going to happen next?
Oh, we're going to rebuild, and it'll be better. I think that Stuart has learned a lot, and I think Florida has learned a lot. Stricter codes and really enforcing them, because it's just devastating. If you own anything on the water or you're close to it, don't hold on to it too tight, because it's just devastating.
Mother Nature only lends it to you.
That's it.
She could reclaim it.
Hold on.
Have you heard about Hurricane Ivan? I hate to bring this up.
We haven't heard much, being that we don't have any power yet, but we'll get over this one, and if we have to go through another one, we'll get through that too.
So that's the spirit, Paige. It really is. They're like Californians deal with earthquakes. They deal with these fires, as the one you were mentioning up in Sonoma. It's part of paradise, I guess. It's the price you pay, and Floridians certainly have gotten used to these hurricanes, although I don't know if you can ever get used to an experience that so shakes up your life as Francis did, Charlie just 3 weeks before, and now here comes Ivan. My goodness. So that's it from Stuart, Florida, the eye of the storm. Paige, back to you.
Geraldo, thank you so much. They have amazing attitudes. Well, Francis is making a mess from coast to coast in Florida, coming ashore in the east. But guess what? She's now crawling west, leaving millions in the dark. We're keeping track of the latest storm to hammer the state. And in other news, Russia mourning the hundreds of victims in that deadly school siege. Well, now there's a report that a very familiar and very evil group may have played a role. 2 powerful earthquakes rocking Japan several hours apart. One of them bigger than the massive quake that shook San Francisco in 1989. Well, tonight, why the damage was limited as Fox reports live.
Dear Prilosec OTC guys, 1 pill a day, 24 hours, 0 heartburn. How's that work. Signed, the frequent heartburn guy next to you.
Whoa. Here's how. It's the only OTC that directly shuts down lots of those acid-producing pumps in your stomach. That's why it's the only OTC that can work for 24 hours with 1 pill a day. Awesome. Prilosec OTC. 1 pill a day, 24 hours, 0 heartburn.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Honey, I got that dessert you like.
Oh, great.
Oh, and look what else I got. Honey, kids, relax. It's natural citrus Listerine. It's less intense.
Sure, all right. Sounds good.
Introducing Natural Citrus Listerine. All the same germ-killing power to fight plaque. Now in a citrus flavor that's less intense. For a cleaner, healthier mouth. You can handle it. Germs can't.
Wouldn't it be great if you could pay off all those high-interest credit cards and get extra cash for you? Call AmeriQuest now. We help homeowners every day to do just that by refinancing their mortgage. At AmeriQuest, we know you're more than your credit score. You'll get your own personal loan specialist who will support you from start to finish. We'll even do the paperwork. You'll get a decision within 24 hours, and in a matter of days, those high-interest credit cards could be history. For a completely different refinancing experience, call 1-800-AmeriQuest now or go to AmeriQuest.com. AmeriQuest, the company that knows you are more.
Conflicting stories tonight about the fate of Saddam's former right-hand man. A broadcast report earlier today said Iraqi forces captured Izzat Ibrahim al-Duri near Tikrit. But Iraq's defense minister discounted the report, calling it baseless. He says past reports of al-Duri's capture have proven false. New clashes today in the Baghdad slum of Sadr City. U.S. and Iraqi forces battled militiamen loyal to radical cleric Muqtada al-Sadr. The fighters fired small arms and rocket-propelled grenades at U.S. troops on patrol. A car bomb exploded outside an airbase used by U.S. forces. That happened 40 miles north of the Iraqi capital, wounding 1 U.S. soldier and 2 Iraqi civilians. And late word of a mortar attack on a U.S. base west of Baghdad, killing 2 U.S. soldiers. A Fox report now from Orlando Salinas in Baghdad.
Paige, let's start off this report with news that Saddam Hussein's war crimes trial will begin sooner than most people thought it would. The Iraqi state minister said today Hussein's war crimes trial will begin before the start of January's democratic elections. Now, the last time we saw Saddam Hussein was during his formal arraignment at the Baghdad Convention Center, happened July 1st. Ironically, the special Iraqi tribunal used the same tough penal code Saddam used when he was running Iraqi security back in '71. He is facing a long-running list of war crimes charges. Today's quote to remember, here it is: the trial of Saddam Hussein and the rest of his clique will start before the Iraqi elections scheduled for January, end quote. Also today, confusion over the alleged capture of the number 6 man in the U.S. military's deck of cards. Several news wires reporting that Izzat Ibrahim al-Duri, Saddam's longtime brutal buddy, was caught after a fierce gunfight in Saddam's hometown of Tikrit. Now, U.S. military sources say it is not true. Iraqi officials said it was. They swore by it. Sources telling Fox News that something did indeed happen today in Tikrit, but the facts have not been completely sorted out just yet. Also, a quick update on the 2 French hostages, 2 reporters. France's foreign minister is on his way home without the men. He said he made some important connections, both politically and with religious personalities. Bottom line, though, no word right now where the 2 French reporters are or if they are still alive. Also, that hostage list is growing. We understand 4 Jordanian truck drivers were taken hostage today. No word right now on their whereabouts. Paige?
Orlando, thank you. Millions of people across Russia mourning a deadly hostage standoff at a school. People laid flowers and toys and lit candles at what's left of the gymnasium in Beslan, where almost 400 people were killed, half of them children. Funerals for some of the victims took place today. A Russian government plane left Beslan for Moscow, carrying 17 people critically injured in that siege. The victims will get specialized care in the Russian capital. Some 540 were wounded. And in Moscow, hundreds of people lined up to donate blood. Many of the injured children need blood. Now there's a report that may be an al-Qaeda connection to that terrorist attack. A live report now from Julie Kurtz in Washington. Julie.
Paige, the Russian government is pointing its finger at al-Qaeda as Russian families mourn and bury their dead following that violent school siege in southern Russia. According to preliminary information released by Russia's Federal Security Service, the school assault, which left more than 350 dead, many children, was financed and organized by rebels with links to al-Qaeda terrorists. A Russian news agency quotes the security service as saying that notorious Chechen warlord Shamil Basayev masterminded the raid. Basayev has been active for years in the violent fight for Chechen independence from Russia. He reportedly trained at camps in Afghanistan and Pakistan in the 1990s, and there he met senior al-Qaeda leaders. Now, Russian authorities also suspect that the 52-hour school standoff was financed by a man called Abu Omar al-Sayyaf, an Arab who allegedly represents al-Qaeda in Chechnya. Although they have offered no proof, Russian authorities have said that 10 Arabs were among the militants who were killed when Russian commandos stormed that building. Russian President Vladimir Putin called the attack a terrorist crime. Meanwhile, this weekend on a web page, a Muslim group declaring loyalty to al-Qaeda leader Ayman al-Zawahiri took responsibility for the horrendous school attack. Paige?
Julie Kurtz, thank you. And two strong earthquakes rocking Japan today. The first, a magnitude 6.9, injuring 5 people. The second quake, just hours later, it was a major one, a magnitude 7.3, injuring at least 9 people there. And most of those hurt suffered bruises or broken bones. The quakes triggered tsunami waves. Seismologists say the damage and injuries were limited because both earthquakes were well off Japan's coast, and the hardest hit area is sparsely populated. A gesture of peace in the Middle East and a papal road trip in Italy. Get ready to go around the world in 80 seconds. China. Days of torrential rains in the southwest part of the country have caused massive flooding and landslides. Some areas received more than 10 inches. Farmers say their crops are ruined. The storms have killed at least 19 people. More than 20 others are missing, and more rain is on the way. Italy, Pope John Paul II celebrated Mass on a hilltop shrine in Loreto. 200,000 pilgrims made the journey. Security was extremely tight. The trip was arranged around the beatification of 3 members of the Christian group Catholic Action. Beatification is the last formal step towards sainthood. India. More than 100 people gathered at a nunnery in Calcutta to pay tribute to Mother Teresa. It's the 7th anniversary of her death. She was known as the Saint of the Gutter for her dedication to the poor and sick. The Pope made her a saint just this year. She also won the Nobel Peace Prize. West Bank. A gesture of peace. An Israeli safari park gave lions, zebras, and goats to a zoo in the West Bank town. The animals sent to help replace several animals killed during Israeli army raids. And that's a wrap on this Fox trip around the world in 80 seconds. Florida getting a pounding. Frances still causing trouble across Florida as she moves toward the Gulf Coast. An update straight ahead. And President Clinton preparing to undergo open heart surgery. He's getting get well messages from across the country. Details of one special phone call as Fox reports live.
We had the local rental car game locked up until they moved in. In-car navigation systems. We got an in-hand navigation system called a map. No, you can't pick up a car here and drive out of state. You planning a bank heist? Airline miles, hotel points? Who do you think we are, Hertz?
Hertz is in the neighborhood with hundreds of locations, competitive rates. We'll come and get you too. It's your trip. Rent wisely.
For the long term, you tend to be a little more demanding. Evergreen, investments that stand the test of time.
Which question saved a life today?
Which one calmed? Inspired? At Vanderbilt, we believe in questioning everything. Because with questions come answers. Answers which could simply comfort or bring cures for cancer. So when it comes to your health, do as we do. Ask. Vanderbilt Medical Center. Hearts and minds.
Every weekend on Disney Channel.
We're zooming through time at warp speed.
A family vacation takes a wrong turn.
Why are all my readouts flat?
And now the whole family's got to try to fit in. A new Disney Channel comedy series that's ahead of its time. Watch Bill of the Future. Every weekend. Only on Disney Channel.
Honey, there's someone I'd like you to meet.
Just a sec.
He's trying to decide what minivan to buy. The red yarn compares safety features, the blue yarn compares performance features, and the green yarn compares options.
Right. Excuse me, sir? Sir? Huh? I can do all that for you. Really? That's great, because my neck's killing me.
VHIGS.com, roadmap to the automotive world.
Honey, online.
Oh.
The United States won it in dramatic fashion in '99, but lost it in an upset to the Europeans in '02. Now the US wants it back, and only Golf's home will be there every day, all week long. The Ryder Cup. Experience it on the Golf Channel, the only network to turn on before, during, and after this year's matches from Oakland Hills. The Golf Channel's Ryder Cup week. Call to order today to turn on, tune in, and tee off.
President Bush stepped up his criticism of John Kerry's economic plan today. Speaking in West Virginia, the president said Senator Kerry would stifle job creation by increasing taxes. Kerry, who campaigned in Ohio yesterday, has said he plans to roll back President Bush's tax cuts for those who make more than $200,000. But President Bush says that's the wrong way to go. Molly Hennenberg with the Fox report from Parkersburg, West Virginia. Molly.
Paige, this is President Bush's 8th trip to West Virginia this year. He was just in Wheeling last Sunday, as a matter of fact, and he started off today in Parkersburg by saying his frequent trips to the Mountain State should show the people of West Virginia that he wants to carry this state again, as he did in the 2000 election. This is a state where registered Democrats outnumber registered Republicans 2-1. But the Parkersburg area, where the president is today, strongly supported George Bush 4 years ago. He won by 8,000 votes here over Al Gore. Bush campaign strategists say the president will focus this week on differences between his economic plan and John Kerry's plan. John Kerry has said that the wealthiest 2% of Americans would no longer get a tax cut to help pay for health care and education. The Bush campaign says that means small businesses that file under individual tax rates in that 2% would be hurt by the plan.
This Labor Day weekend, it is important for America's workers to know that my opponent wants to tax your jobs. His plan to raise taxes on those at the top end of the income tax scale will raise taxes for the 900,000 small businesses and entrepreneurs who pay at the individual rate and who are creating most of the new jobs in our changing economy.
But John Kerry says a vast majority of businesses would save money under his tax plan. West Virginia is among a handful of states considered battleground states that are getting a lot of attention during this election cycle. President Bush will be back in West Virginia next Friday at a rally in Huntington, and his opponent, John Kerry, will be here tomorrow for a Labor Day event near Charleston. Paige?
Molly, thanks for that report. Bill Clinton's getting flooded with get well wishes from all over the world and across party lines. The former president even had a talk with Vice President Dick Cheney. Cheney said he is living proof of the wonders of modern medicine since he underwent quadruple bypass surgery back in 1988. The former president's reportedly in good spirits on what could be the eve of his surgery. Todd Connor with a Fox report from New York City. Todd.
Paige, another day of waiting for former President Bill Clinton, who was admitted to Columbia Presbyterian Hospital in New York on Friday. Some doctors who are not involved in his care have suggested the delay in performing the surgery is to give his body time to clear out the dye that was injected when he was first diagnosed with this blockage. A spokesman for the American Heart Association says it might also be to allow a blood-thinning drug to pass through his system, and then, of course, scheduling could be a problem since this is a holiday weekend. Meanwhile, an outpouring of support from average people to the president of Pakistan.
I'm just delivering the message of the president of Pakistan for Mr. Clinton and flowers from his side.
And what was that message?
It was just the good wishes from the president of Pakistan.
Since he was admitted, more than 26,000 emails have been sent to President Clinton's foundation website. The president and his family issuing an online statement saying they felt blessed and grateful for the thousands of prayers and messages of goodwill we have received these past few days. While bypass surgery certainly isn't something to look forward to, we are very lucky that the condition was detected in time to have this procedure before something more serious occurred. Though we didn't see Senator Hillary Clinton, we believe she arrived at the hospital around midday. We also saw two aides remove a couple of suitcases from her van. A Clinton spokesman declined to give a specific time for the president's surgery, saying only he doubted there would be an announcement ahead of time. Speculation is it will be Monday or Tuesday. In New York, Todd Connor. Paige, back to you.
Thanks, Todd. Western Florida now feeling the wrath of Frances. Next up, the Panhandle. A storm update coming your way as Fox reports live.
Grilled chicken and shrimp. Consider this your invitation. Welcome to Romano's Macaroni Grill.
This is the Coopers' long-awaited getaway. The trouble is, this isn't the Coopers.
Everything in size 8?
It's the Vaughns who stole their wallet, spending their money. Presenting the American Express Travel Funds card, the safety of traveler's checks in a convenient card. It's prepaid. If it's stolen, your balance is replaced fast. Plus, it works at ATMs. It's your vacation.
Oh, yeah!
Why lose it? The Travel Funds card from American Express. Get a Travel Funds card and get a free companion airfare.
Hurry into Circuit City Sunday and Monday only for amazing specials throughout the store. Sunday and Monday only, you'll save $30 on this Sony 3.2 megapixel digital camera with 3 times optical zoom. Just $199.99. Sunday and Monday only, take home this 27-inch TV for only $159.99. You'll find great prices on computers, televisions, music, movies, and more. Don't miss the savings. Sunday and Monday only at Circuit City.
No matter what you're into, there's only one way to go back to school. With a Dell built just for you. Like this powerful Dell 700M notebook with wireless Intel Centrino mobile technology, so you can stay connected just about anywhere. And for a limited time, get 10% off, plus a free hard drive upgrade. Other Dell notebooks start at just $720. Your personalized back-to-school PC. Easy as Dell. Dell PCs use Intel Centrino mobile technology.
Tomorrow, a special 2-hour block, the aftermath of Hurricane Frances. First, from devastated businesses to a shaken consumer confidence, what will it cost to rebuild? Then, as many in Florida begin the long road to recovery, what's next for this storm-ravaged state? It's a special 2-hour block. Plus, at 6, Kerry and Bush in the final sprint of a bitter election battle. But with the president leading in the polls, how will Kerry make a comeback?
All that and more on Special Report.
Only one network has the #1 early primetime lineup. Only one. Only Fox News Channel.
Tropical storm Frances still affecting huge parts of the state of Florida. You can see it right there covering the state. The center of the system is now just east of Tampa. It's dropping large amounts of rain as it heads for the Gulf of Mexico and prepares to make a second landfall in the Florida Panhandle. Folks all across the Florida Peninsula is starting to assess the damage Frances did when she was still a hurricane. Most structures fortunately still standing, but many sustained significant damage during hours of punishing winds. Some areas have seen more than a foot of rain, and one man actually died when a tree hit his car. 5 million people lost power. The good news, most folks in Broward and Miami-Dade counties are being allowed to return home. And airports in Miami and Fort Lauderdale are opening up again. The 1st National Guard troops are now heading to the affected areas. About 8,000 Guard members have been assigned to help with this recovery. Let's listen in to WFLX in West Palm Beach, Florida.
Flooding problem.
Actually, WTVT in Tampa.
That's what it is. Stay with us here. Fox 13 will stay with you throughout the evening.
Okay, now we're going to go back to West Palm Beach, WFLX.
Francis will be right back.
That might be, I don't know if that used to be a boat. It's in the water. If it was a boat, it's sunk. And if it's sheeting, it's on its side? Okay. It's Jeff Cole's telling me it's on its side, so that boat's gone and we can't even see the name of it.
It's never going to be quite the same again.
No, we have some more video now. This is in Vero Beach of damage and still very high winds that you're seeing, and this is probably shot in the afternoon, so still bad weather there.
We're seeing the flooding here across North 707, and, well, where's the road? Liz, where's the road? We see the traffic signals.
Indian River Drive. I see that sign. And that traffic signal is still intact because it's on those poles, but they're not working.
Yeah, those poles came through. I know in my neighborhood those poles came through very well. The traffic signals got beat up, but the poles were great.
Look at that was a sailboat, I think, that had sunk because the mast was up. It was in the water, coming out of the water, and that one is completely under the water. That's another boat.
Once again, we're trying to keep you updated on all the latest information on closings and curfews and shelters. We're trying to give you an idea of what things are looking like at this moment and what kind of damages that happened under Francis, and we're giving you the latest weather as well.
Well, there you have it. We've been listening to WFLX from West Palm Beach, Florida. You can see those pictures. Francis was devastating, and she's headed west. People on the west coast of Florida now bracing for the worst. And now you know the news. As Fox reports this Sunday, September 5th, 2004, I'm Paige Hopkins. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned throughout the night for the latest on Tropical Storm Francis. We're going to be tracking her, as well as the damage she leaves behind as she makes her way through Florida. Good night, everyone.
The Fox Report, a presentation of Fox News Channel, the network America trusts, period.
This is Fox News Channel's continuing coverage of Hurricane Francis. Good evening, I'm Kieran Chetri. At this hour, the hurricane